Zorba is a seldom performed musical based on the 1952 novel Zorba the Greek by Nikos Kazantzakis, and even more on the movie of the same name by Michael Kakayanis. Joseph Stein wrote the book for the musical, Fred Ebb wrote the lyrics, and John Kander composed the music. All three have major Broadway musical reputations, and that may be a big part of the reason for my disappointment with Zorba in its current production by New Line Theater. I am happy to see Kander and Ebb Chicago and Cabaret as often as anyone wants to put them on. Much of my joy comes from their brilliant use of the jazz-inflected down and dirty music of the 1920s and the generally cynical attitudes of both shows. The influence of traditional Greek music on the score of Zorba doesn't do as much for me. And while the book shows plenty of the dark side of human nature, from poverty and greed to suicide and murder, it is basically life-affirming thanks to its central character, Zorba. Zorba is an older man of many adventures and talents. He attaches himself to a bookish young Greek-American, kindly given by bookwriter Stein the novelist's first name, Nikos. Nikos is on his way to Crete to reopen a mine on land his family owns. Zorba claims to be a miner, and Nikos agrees to make him his foreman and manager. What Zorba really knows is how to live to the fullest in the moment, and this is what he will try to teach Nikos. At New Line, Kent Coffel turns on the full enthusiasm of an irresistible force while letting us notice the calculation going on behind Zorba's moves. Nikos needs to be molded by someone because there isn't much to him now, and Dominic Dowdy-Windsor almost makes more of him than the script does. Margeau Steinau is ingratiatingly full-voiced as a French expat, former courtesan, now owner of what passes for the village's hotel, who wants to get her hooks into Zorba. And Hier, another lovely voice, plays a young widow shunned by the villagers who almost pulls Nikos out of himself. Evan Fornichon is a callow youth hopelessly fascinated by her and defended by his angry friend played by Devin Riley. Another half-dozen give committed performances as the villagers, led by the splendid Lindsey Jones. Rob Lippert's set and lighting have created a sparkling Greek village on a hillside, but it doesn't leave much room for either choreographer Michelle Sauer's dances or the staging of director Scott Miller and Mike Dowdy-Windsor, which tends to go from right to left and left to right on the wide, shallow stage. Sarah Porter's costumes contrast the villagers with the outsiders. Benjamin Rosemann designed sound, with the best sound coming from the voices and instrumentalists led by music director Sarah Nelson. Maybe it takes a village to play a village, and Zorba might work better in a larger venue. And I do think mine is a minority opinion. I didn't dislike Zorba, but those around me seem to enjoy it more.
And I think I enjoyed it more too, but I have to say I think Zorba and Tevye were separated at birth.
Aha, interesting, interesting. Well, let's hear some Kander and Ebb again, shall we?
Having if your life